or not his briefings are helping or hurting him in terms of the public. When they first started, there's no question that people saw a commander-in-chief taking charge, and they liked it, and you saw a spike in his polls. There's been a drop in the last few weeks, and part of it is, I think, that the briefings, to some people's minds anyway, this is obviously everybody has their own opinion, may have hurt him as much as they've helped him, because he's gone on at considerable length. Some of these briefings have gone on 2 hours, and the president, ends up taking a lot of questions on a lot of issues that have nothing to do with the health crisis, gets into fights with reporters, bad raps various governors, and I'm not sure that the public at large, or at least part of the public that has doubts about Donald Trump anyway, is enjoying that. You think about other crises like 9/11 and the fact that there was a huge rally around the president, 80, 90% support. Yes, the president's poll numbers have ticked up a bit, but they're still around 50%. Which shows that you're not getting what often happens in a crisis, which is a tremendous surge of support for the commander-in-chief.
Absolutely. And while there are those questions raised by the Wall Street Journal editorial page and others about the president's performance in the briefings, then you have Joe Biden, who in a normal political season would be out on the trail right now, offering his criticism of the president. Now he's got to be a bit more careful as we're in the middle of a crisis. He's doing it from essentially his basement in Delaware, not a normal situation. Fox poll on a choice for president, Joe Biden 42%, Donald Trump 42%.
Yeah, that's interesting because, in all of our polls for months, Biden had about an 8 or 9 point lead, and that's now gone. It's dead even between Biden and the president. I wonder, though, and again, this is take it for what it's worth, but it seems to me as this virus goes on, that instead of this being a choice between the president and Joe Biden, as a lot of elections are, I kind of think that this election is going to end up being a referendum on President Trump and the handling of the coronavirus. As we get into September and October after Labor Day, I think people are going to make a judgment, and they'll understand. The president didn't create the virus, so I think they're going to be fair-minded about it. Do they think he handled the health crisis well? Do they think he handled the economic crisis well?
Yeah.
If they do, I don't see how he gets beat. If they don't, I don't see how he can win.
Real quickly, in terms of choices that need to be made, Joe Biden has to pick a running mate. He's already signaled it's going to be a woman this time around. I wonder if he tipped his hand a little when at a fundraiser he said, "I'm so lucky to have you, Kamala Harris, who was there to be a part of this partnership going forward, working together. We can make a great deal of progress. I'm coming for you, kid."
Yeah, we've seen Joe Biden get exuberant in the past. I don't think that's, I think he likes her and I think he respects her. What I think she has going against her is that she's from California. And if Joe Biden, if any Democrat can't win California on their own, they're in real trouble. Typically, vice presidents, we love to play the game, but vice presidential candidates really don't help or hurt that much if they can bring you their state. That's a big plus, which would argue in favor of Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. That's a very important state electorally, of course. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton there in 2016. If Gretchen Whitmer could help deliver Michigan, she'd be worth it right there. Question of experience. She hasn't had that much of it in a high-level role.
Yeah.
Then there's people like Elizabeth Warren. Obviously, she helps in terms of getting Bernie Sanders supporters on board. But again, you could argue if Joe Biden can't get them on board running against Donald Trump, does he really need Elizabeth Warren? So it'll be fascinating to see. We will play this game a lot. My experience has been the high point of any vice presidential nominee is the moment in which they're named, and after that, they kind of sink into irrelevance.
That is not much of a factor. But finally, quickly, most important question maybe, the president got this in the last couple of days. Has Chris Wallace been watching Tiger King?